Welcome. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a tarot reading for those of you who already have a business and are looking for a little bit of guidance or wisdom for 2025. If you don't have a business already, but you're thinking of starting one, I will be doing a separate video for that. So go ahead and follow the linked video for those of you looking to start a business, but this is for those of you who already have one and are looking for a little bit of cosmic guidance into what 2025 has in store. I am using the traditional Smith Rider-Waite deck, and I'm also going to pull a couple of oracle cards as well at the end to just help manifest the energy of this reading. So let's see what 2025 has in store for you. So in order of the cards I pulled, we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Empress. This would be the Eight of Pentacles, and Justice. And on the very back of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. So I'm going to go ahead. I like to intuitively kind of group these cards together, see what the story being told is. Those go to get long. Yeah. Okay. So I paired together the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, as well as the Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles, and then Justice is kind of just floating. So what I see here with the Eight and the Ace is this idea of needing another certification, needing another thing to offer for your business, needing something else to make it feel like you're worthy of where you're at right now. You do not need to do another certification or another course or go down some sort of rabbit hole and become an expert in something else in order to do the work that you're already doing, in order to do the craft. Now, of course, this is like outside of the idea, like if you need to keep up with certain certifications or whatnot yearly, this is not about that. This is about the issue that I find a lot of entrepreneurs especially get into, is that they think if I just learn a little bit more, if I just add on this energetic tool to my toolbox for my clients, you know, I'm going to be able to give them more. I'm going to be able to serve more. I'm going to be able to offer more. But really what you're doing is you're diverting the energy and the magic you currently have in the work you're currently doing. So buckle down with the Eight of Pentacles. This is all about the fact that you've mastered your craft. Not entirely, you're not like the untouchable expert, but you know what you're doing. You've been doing this for a while, you have experience, you've built these tools, you've built these trades, but yet for some reason you feel like that is not enough. There's always like this idea of wanting to try something new, starting new, pivot. That is not the vibe for 2025. The vibe for 2025 fully is to root down in your expertise, your magnetism, and what it is that you already are doing so well. Do not divert, do not pivot, do not pick up something else. Figure out or double down on the work that you're already doing and lean into it hard. Because I feel like this is also echoed with these queens. And with the Empress, this is so much, this energy right here is like, this is the cultivator, this is the hard worker, this is like bringing in our desire to like serve and to be of service. They are very much embodied with these cards. And so of course we want to give as much as we possibly could. But I think this links back to the shadow card on the deck, is that when you give and when you extend yourself too much, you know, the classic thing of you can only pour from a cup that's full. I feel like the queens really root back to this Four of Swords, of that, you know, you don't have endless energy. this is a big thing that I'm a proponent of, is that we all have limits and we all have capacities, and it's okay. And so with the queens, really feel into your energetic, feel into the Empress energy of being in your body and being rooted and doing the tangible. Like this is so pentacle heavy, and so this is really about doing the work, doing the tangible, taking the action, actually building the blocks, getting your hands dirty. And it's not quick success. It's especially like Eight of Pentacles, you had to work to get to this point. That's not quick success, baby. And these cards fully are telling me that this is about like feeling in your body, feeling in your element, really like rooting down into the work that you're doing and making it so much more juicier than what it already is. And I think that's where like these two stories really converge, is in order to like really feel rooted and seated in this and not feeling like you have to constantly pivot or you're not enough with what you're doing already. You have to really sit into the medicine that this Queen and the Empress provides, of like feeling in tune with your gifts, feeling in tune with your body, like really building a sense of cultivated energy within the work that you're doing. And Justice, such an interesting card to have hanging out with us. Justice is such an interesting reminder that sometimes we can have all of the best intentions, but things don't always work in our favor. You know, the scales don't always tilt our way, and that's totally okay. But I think really think about what your definers of success are. And I think this roots back to kind of the Queens too, and just being like so solid in your own element, is that like the world's going to tilt, things are going to move. Not everything's going to feel fair, especially in business. Not everything's going to be fair, but we're not doing it because of fairness. We're doing it because it's our passion, because it's what inspires us. It's because how we cultivate and give back to those around us. And so I would definitely sit with the feelings of justice and like what feels right, what feels deserved. And I think this card too, leaning into especially like the Ace of Pentacles energy here. I mentioned earlier, you know, you're pivoting, you're moving on, you're not allowing yourself to sit in the Eight of Pentacles because you don't feel like you are deserving of the point of where you're at. You feel like you have to constantly do more. So I think too, Justice, as much as life isn't fair, also kind of think of, you know, what's actually deserving. Why are you not deserving of success? Why do you keep diverting yourself and your energies and your focus so you never actually arrive to a place where you feel successful? So I think Justice is kind of talking about that as well. And then to wrap it, bring it all back with that Four of Swords. Like I mentioned, you cannot pour from an empty cup, but also like keep in mind how much you leave sort of looming over you in your headspace. When we talk about cultivating, you want to be cultivating your mindset, and the things that you ruminate on are going to totally impact your rest. They're going to impact your work. They're going to impact everything that is in your life and your entire approach. And so that's why with the Four of Swords, be very careful about what you're ruminating on, what you're spinning around in your mind, because that mindset part is going to impact all of these other cards. Now, before you go, I'm going to draw two sort of like archetypal type of energies. The first is going to be a plant archetype. I have all of the decks I'm using listed in the description below. And so for our plant archetype, we have protection. This is Rowan. I am like not like a big herbal girly, so I'm not sure what this Rowan plant is. I'm very fascinated. On the bottom of this deck is magic, Lady's Mantle. So like I mentioned earlier, like leaning into your magic, don't forget that, but also maybe think about the areas where you're protecting too much. I don't know, sit with that, sit with the protection. And then for archetypal energy, what are we like needing to embody? What are we needing to step into? Who are we supposed to be showing up as? Let's take a look. Okay. Who are we supposed to be stepping into? Oh my gosh. The assassin. That's kind of intense. This is ruthless conviction. I mean, I definitely think murder your goals. No. I wonder what's on the bottom of this deck. I'm curious. Ooh, yeah. The Mascareri. Hiding your true self. Projection. This is a card all about like the masks that you put on and like sort of like fitting into all of these different spaces because you're like wearing different masks, which I think roots back to like protection. A lot of times we do that to feel protected. But I think with the story of like these two cards, this one being on the back and the assassin being on the front, it's really like have a sense of conviction, really like straighten your aim, get really focused and go after your goals, and don't feel like you need to change face or like change who you are. But also like maybe like work quietly, because like assassins, they kind of like move in the shadows. They sort of like, they don't want too much energy or attention put on themselves because they have like a job to do. So I definitely think this is maybe leaning to a little bit of like keep your head low and do your work, and do your work really, really well. What an interesting card to get. All right. So I'm wishing you the best 2025. If you are feeling some kind of energetic block and you want your own custom tarot reading, I have created the Catalyst. This is a 45-minute tarot reading, and it is completely created for business, for entrepreneurs, for visionaries, for leaders, to move past the shit that's keeping them stuck and break through it and become radically aligned. So if you're looking to step into that energy for 2025, book yourself a Catalyst reading. Link is down below. And like I said, it's 45 minutes to clarity. You'll get your own custom little tarot reading like this, and we'll come up with strategic steps to take going forward. With that being said, I hope you have a great 2025 in business, and make sure to check back in for more tarot readings and general business and branding advice.